We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 484 of the Scholars of Wrestling Show. This is the Full Gear Prediction Show. I am your OG, undisputed scholar, Scholar Tarek, taking the realms for this episode because tonight, for Full Gear, we have a Scholars of Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. And no, to remind some of our viewers, no, I'm not the champion, but I am the advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweights, Scholars of Wrestling heavyweight champion of the world. I can say it correctly. My undisputed scholar tag team partner, Scholar Brian. Hello, Scholar Brian. How are we feeling? Full gear, titles on the line. How you feel?
I am feeling pretty good, actually putting my title on the line against a deserving challenger. It's rare that we have one of these, but he did pull off the impossible, okay? And he tied me when I won the title at Wrestle Dream. So I feel that it is in my best interest to give him a one-on-one title shot. How do you feel, Scholar Jeff?
No. I do the intros. I drag in
I'm the
Scholar Jeff,
champion. I
and
do what I want.
I'm the host of the show, Brian. That's not how this goes. And his opponent, the challenger, Scholar Jeff.
I'll
No,
tell
no,
you
no.
what.
I could do better. I'm just messing with you. And his opponent, the man who tied, who had a perfect predictions at whatever the last prediction
Wrestle
show we
Dream.
had.
Wrestle Dream.
Was it Wrestle Dream? It was
Yeah.
at Wrestle Dream. Scholar Jeff, how do you feel? All right, is this your show to win this, to strip Scholar Brian of the Scholars of Wrestling Heavyweight Championship? Will you take Goldie home this weekend? How do you feel? Come on. I want to
Well,
know.
I'm well, I'm telling you this. I'm feeling like my job as producer behind the scenes of this show, I can tell that, you know what? I can tell that there is going to be a greater appreciation for all the work I do on this show. There's also going to be a lot more appreciation for the work I do predicting every single card. Yeah, some of my picks are a little out there. Yeah, sometimes I follow my heart. But if recent history is any indication whatsoever, you know what? Sometimes it all pays off. And this is one of those times, and it's gotten me a title shot, just like it's earned me multiple titles and championships in the past. And this is going to be absolutely no different. I'm here to predict them all. I'm here to go look to our own backyard in Newark, New Jersey, and we're going to predict some AEW Full Gear 2024.
You are absolutely correct, sir. It is in our backyard at Prudential this Sunday, and none of us are going. All right, there you go. Yay on that one. And the man who is joining me in grabbing the hypothetical popcorn and observing the title match as it goes, as we're watching Full Gear, is Scholar Pete. Scholar Pete, where's your popcorn?
You know, I appreciate the intro, Scholar Talk, but it's not all about me today, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about my tag team partner, the JP Connection, Scholar Jeff. So I beg you, audience, please go back about a minute and a half when you just heard one of the most compelling speeches for a future champion and Scholar Jeff. So I beg you, get behind this man. Drop in the comments, show your support. He is going to be your champion after Full Gear. And because he's my tag team partner, he will give me a title shot and I will get back my rightful Scholars of Wrestling Championship because I never really lost it because I lost it to a fair case. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Scholar Jeff winning the title. So, Scholar Tark, I hope you're having a pleasant day hosting. It threw me off because you know what? Why not have the Wonder Twins take over the show for Full Gear? But let me tell you, Scholar Jeff is walking out with the championship. I guarantee it.
The one thing that I love about this title reign is it just proves that I have broken Scholar Pete. I have broken him in two, and he's taking it out on his tag team partner. Do you not see what I see?
Oh, Brian, I could go one step. I could go one step further. From what I saw, from what I heard in that introduction, we just saw Pete's true intentions. He says he's here to kiss Scholar Jeff's ass, as just saying, "Oh, JP connection, JP connection. My tag team partner is the greatest of all time." But we just saw his true intentions by saying once Jeff hypothetically wins that title, he's just going to give him a title shot. So he's just riding on Jeff's back and just push himself up to the top to make himself Scholars of Wrestling champion once again. But we know, Brian, you and I know better. You and I know better. We know what's best for Goldie here, and that is to make sure Goldie remains undisputed. Yeah.
Do you even know the names of the Wonder Twins?
I
Pete?
used to, not no more.
Yes, Scholar Torek and Scholar Brian.
No, yep, we are the Wonder Twins of the Scholars of Wrestling. Come on, Brian, let's do it. Do we have hypothetical rings? No. All right, well, let's just do. We'll have Goldie with us. Wonder Twin
Wonder Twin
powers
powers
activate.
activate.
Don't gonna make sure I don't punch our camera. Okay.
But no. Before we move on, I want to hear this. Scholar Pete, do you actually know the names of the actual Wonder Twins? Or are you just fooling around with us?
As we did that introduction, he's trying to Google it right now.
No, you don't.
I see you looking off to the corner.
It's fine. It's fine. You want my answer, Scholar Jeff?
No, it's too late. The ship has sailed, sir. The ship
Who
has
are the
sailed.
Wonder Twins, fool? We gave
Zan
up
and
on
Jaina.
Pete. What is it?
Zan and Jaina.
Zan and Jaina. All right, but we're not here to talk about the Wonder Twins.
We're here to talk smack and predict
we're not
wrestling.
We're not here to talk about Scholar Pete trying to take advantage of Scholar Jeff.
Excuse me. That's just a very strong word, Scholar Tark. I would not use that. I'm trying to show my support for my tag team partner, a tag team partner who I just feel is just the greatest champion Scholars of Wrestling has ever seen.
See, but here's your problem. Here's your problem. We all heard what came out of your mouth 4 minutes ago, but we'll move on from that.
Yeah, we'll move on from that
because my goal is to make sure that that's not even an option.
we're making sure that this prediction show isn't about you, Scholar Pete. You say it's not about you, but you made that promo all about you. So no, it's not all about you. It's about the Scholars of Wrestling Championship between the champion Scholar Brian and the challenger Scholar Jeff. Who will leave this weekend with beautiful Goldie here? She's gonna stay here. Who are we kidding? All right, let's go ahead. It is Full Gear weekend. Let us just go hop right in to look at these matches, make our predictions, and see how many are the same, how many are different. Let's get right to it. All right. But before we go into the first match, I got to turn back on my phone and see the listings of the match. And while I do that, Brian, as the defending champion, would you like to go first in the predictions, or do you want to pass it to the challenger?
I will be an honorable champion. I will go first.
There you go. Honestly, I was really expecting you to just be like, I'm an honorable champion. I respect my challenger to enough to just go, I'm just going to go first. Okay. All right.
There's only one person I would do that to. We all know who that is.
and he's not here. All right, let's go ahead. Let's go look into these. As of right now, the current listings of the match card for Full Gear, which is 11. Hopefully, it stays that way. Highly doubt it. They'll probably add 2 more matches to make it a unlucky 13. Well, we're going to start with the pre-show matches, and we're going to start with Big Boom AJ versus QT Marshall with the Rizzler. with as special guest timekeeper. That information is not important. What matters? Big Boom AJ versus QT Marshall. Scholar Brian, who do we got? Who do you predict on this one?
In the most obvious of obvious match results, it's Big Boom AJ. Come on. The Costco boys are coming in and they're destroying QT Marshall because that's how we roll.
All right, QT Marshall is going down according to Scholar Brian. And now the challenger, Jeff. Who do you have for this match?
I'll tell you what, I'm actually strangely excited over what this whole matchup could do for AEW. Is again, I didn't even know of anything about the Costco guys until like maybe a month ago, where
Same.
a particular YouTuber who I'm a fan of did like a whole big like synopsis on the backstory of the Costco guys. So I'm like, again, I'm not on TikTok or whatever. So whenever I heard up that I only know two things, that this dude and his family and their friends are blowing up on TikTok, and the main guy, the dad, has a background as a professional wrestler for years. So the way I put it on our group chat is actually the same. This whole scenario for bringing a social media star for clout and exposure and marketing and all that stuff, it's basically the opposite of what they did with Logan Paul, where he's already a wrestler, he's got a lot of viral attention on him, and slapping him on the buy-in to attract new eyes and potentially make new fans. This is brilliant. So this is I'm very excited to see what the fallout is going to be from this particular match. But I know we're here talking about the results of the match. It's pretty obvious to me that this is all going to be about Big Boom AJ. It's nice to see him get his time in the sun after all this time, all of the years of putting in work on the independents. To get him get this little nod, whatever this turns into, is a really fun, heartwarming thing to see, and it can give AEW some really, really great exposure. And this is great timing. I'm really excited to see this. But let's be real, it's all about Big Boom AJ. I don't see it happening any other way.
All right, very good. I am also gonna go with Big Boom AJ, pretty much mirroring what Jeff said. I didn't know about him until recently. I still haven't seen, I just know of, never seen TikTok because I don't have TikTok. But what pretty much sold me on this one was like, oh, you're facing QT Marshall. You're pretty much facing the Brooklyn Brawler of AEW, who is just the jobber. And I only threw Brooklyn Brawler because it kind of fits being in Jersey, like the tri-state area. Ha 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 ha. But yeah, it's all about the boom. I know where he's later, but it's all about the boom. Oh wait, no, he's not later. He's not in. Oh yeah, that's right. He didn't earn his match. Okay. But all right. Pete, who do you got for Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall?
Thank you, thank you, Tark. I just want to bring back what a great answer Scholar Jeff had, my tag team partner, just killing it right now. I have to agree. What an exposure for real for AEW this could be. I mean, it's right now the hottest thing right they got, and until it like fizzles out and the fans are not about it anymore, ride this train till the day it goes. It's Big Boom AJ for the win. And hopefully, this is quick and painless of a match to watch.
So fake, Pete. So fake. Your PJ or JP Lossman team,
JP
whatever.
Connection, sir. Do you have a tag team? No, I remember you guys becoming a tag team after coincidentally me and the JP Connection got together. What up, Mister?
We've only been a tag team for the last 3 years, buddy. Get on the train.
And when it comes,
It's okay, JP Connection, brother. Just we got this. Let the opposition bury themselves. We'll get our time in the sun. Don't you worry.
if you want to talk about bearing, if you want to talk about tag team with Jeff, TJ Squad.
Hey.
Hey,
Only two of us are gonna get that reference, but hey, it's there. Hey.
but hey, if you can't put it together, then shame on you. All right, let's go on to the next pre-show match. Yeah, that's right. I pulled it out of nowhere, fool. All
You're
over.
hearing no complaints from me. Continue.
We got Deanna Perrazzo against Anna Jay in a match that was just announced, I believe, today. At least that's what Brian let us know earlier. So, fool, who do you got for this match?
This seems like another really important or really obvious pick, rather. But I believe it's also important that Deanna Perrazzo wins this one, not just because they're gonna be in Deanna's home state of New Jersey, but I also believe that really, if they're gonna turn her partnership with what's her name into some sort of significant faction, they're gonna need some more victories in their win column. And I think this is a must win for Deanna Perrazzo at this point.
Very good. I'm also going to choose Deanna Perrazzo only because, like Liv Morgan in WWE, Jersey represent. That's all I got. Jersey represent. Pete, who do you have for this?
I agree with both you gentlemen. Let me just tell you something. Yeah, let's go with Jeff. Just, I can't even add to that because it was perfect. What he said was perfect.
All right, very good. All right, champ, who do you have? Do we have an accord? Do we have a four-way tie for this particular match?
When the match was first announced, I thought about the fact that Anna Jay has just been in a series of three women's title matches. And my first thought was, why would you then have her lose in the pre show? And then I thought about it and was like, this is the perfect opportunity to get an act over. Deanna Perrazzo is basically put together like a female Sopranos type gig where her and Taya Valkyrie are doing like some kind of family thing, but you haven't seen it because it's basically played out on Rampage. This is the perfect opportunity in her home state to start ramping up that story. So within about 5 minutes of me saying that Anna Jay should win this match, I was like, no, no. Anna Jay had fun with her women's championship matches, but they basically killed that off with Mariah May beating her handily in the last one. There's no need to keep her in that spot on the card. We can ramp up other stories now. So I'm going to also go with Deanna Perrazzo.
Now, all I want to hear is their new theme song will be like a female-led Sopranos theme. Got yourself a gun.
That would be
Got
sick
your...
as hell.
And they're going to be on Max, so it actually kind of fits. Oh, I didn't even, I just made that connection now. So it's actually really funny. All right, now, I cracked myself up. And now we're on to the main card, at least for now. Unless the matches that they throw later will just be more pre-show matches. Who knows? That's most likely the case. We'll find out. That's future us problems. And first to go on the wiki, we have MJF versus Roderick Strong after earning his match. MJF, Roderick, no. Roderick, no. They're all they're doing is just building up for MJF versus Adam Cole, and this match is just going to be more storyline than actual wrestling. Even though we know this match is going to be very good, we got two guys who great wrestlers who definitely know how to put on a good match. But if anyone thinks Roderick Strong is actually gonna actually win this match, oh no. MJF is the final boss in this storyline, and Roderick not is not that at all. No, Roderick, no. Pete, who do you have?
I concur with you, Tarek. It's obviously MJF. This is just building to the Adam Cole MJF. You know it's going to be a great match because if it is going to be first on the card, these two performers are going to deliver, and it's going to kick AEW off with, "Hey, this is Full Gear. You're just going to see some great action. You had the celebrity TikTok and Big Boom AJ. Now you got the great match with wrestling with MJF and Strong." But without question, I will give you your your piece there when I say that I agree with everything you said. MJF 100% is winning, and whoever doesn't think that is crazy.
The only thing I don't agree with you, I don't agree with you, sir. I can say words well. Is I don't think this match is actually going to open the card. I have my own prediction on what could open the show, and I think they're going to try and open it big, but that's later.
I think I
Brian,
know.
I think, yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Brian, who do you have for MJF versus Roderick? No.
Well, going off of Pete's premise, I'm not crazy. MJF, MJF is winning this, obviously, because Roderick Strong is not Adam Cole. This
He is
feud,
not.
this feud is MJF versus Adam Cole. Roderick Strong is here as a placeholder. For whatever reason, they didn't want to do this match straight off, even though it probably should have, because uh, I've been personally bored with MJF versus Adam Cole since about a year and a half ago. So they could have had this. They could have killed this off at Full Gear and been done with it, but no, they want to keep going with it until the new year, which is really stupid. But MJF, Roderick Strong, consummate professionals, very good at their jobs. The match will be fantastic, and MJF will pull some shady shit for the win. That's how we roll.
Very good. Jeff, are you in agreement with all of us? Do you think MJF will make a bitch out of Roderick Strong?
Not my choice of words, but the result is the same. Yeah, we do have an accord here. And I gotta say, this is actually making me, because MJF has been away or out of the spotlight for just a little while, it's actually made me want to see more of MJF. Like it, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Well, yeah, I'm in the mood to see an MJF match. I'm in the mood to see this storyline continue. And yeah, it's all going to continue on with a handily catered victory to MJF. Moving on.
Very, very good. Hey, that's what happens when MJF is being held hostage from Adam Sandler. It does make the heart grow want more. Which, before I move on to the next match, to continue with this particular storyline, I have a Scholar's Quick Talk for you gentlemen. With now the inclusion of Kyle O'Reilly, are we looking at an Undisputed Era-esque Undisputed Kingdom revamp in AEW?
In a word, no. I feel like this whole thing just feels like a failed experiment, frankly. And while it's not impossible for this to be salvaged or do like a revamp, we've seen revamps happen successfully in the past. I
Mhm.
just don't get the impression that this is one of them. I think they're just better off just cutting their losses and moving
I feel like they're actually setting up feuds between Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong. I feel like they're setting up for after the MJF versus Adam Cole ending. I think they're actually setting up O'Reilly versus Cole.
Okay.
I feel like I I'm getting a feeling that that's how this is rolling based off of what I've seen on the TV so far. Because maybe Adam Cole does turn into that guy. that Kyle O'Reilly doesn't see him as. And
Okay.
when he does turn into that guy, Kyle O'Reilly don't like it.
Any thoughts, Pete?
I think that it wouldn't be surprising if they were setting up feuds. I mean, you have to know in the contracts between Adam Cole and them that they have plans where, yeah, they're facing MJF versus Adam Cole, but what is after that? You want to plan, you want to do stuff with your friends, so I feel like this will be a feud coming down the line, similar to what Scholar Brian said.
Okay, very good. Very good. I have no opinion on it. I'm just happy to see where they go, either direction. I just thought it would be a fun discussion to hear from your guys' perspective, and I like what I hear. All right, moving on to the next match, we got possibly their last hurrah. We got Jay White versus Hangman Adam Page. And Pete, who do you have for this match?
I got the Hangman, of course. I mean, it
Of
has to
course.
win. He has to win this. If he doesn't win, the feud is over. This is a must win for Hangman Adam Page. I think there's no argument there, and that's all I'm going to say on the matter. If the man doesn't win, the feud is dead. The man's winning here.
The feud is dead, or like him as a character is dead?
Hangman Page will never die.
Hangman Page will never die, but I think it will hinder his character a little bit, especially with him coming back and the significance that he has brought. I feel like in this matchup, he needs to win here. This is a needed win to establish and continue where I think personally he is. Of course, you gentlemen may differ, but I feel for him right now, this is a must win. For me to be like, no, this Hangman, all right, that is my prediction.
All right, very good. All right, Brian, who do you have for Jay White versus the Hangman?
I don't think it's as dire as Scholar Pete makes it seem because I put Hangman Page in that category where like he's on rarefied air, where he's so over with the crowd, it doesn't matter if he wins or loses. However, based off of how this feud has gone, Jay White won the last pay-per-view match. I do believe that Hangman Page will win this one based off of how they're talking, based off of based off of the build in the last month and a half. I feel like the way it needs to go is Hangman Page gets the win here.
Okay, very good. And Jeff, who do you have?
I think this is a pretty clear Hangman victory here, not just for Hangman's sake, but I also believe that a more, if anyone needs a reboot that we of everyone we discussed so far, I'm pretty convinced it's got to be Jay White because it's pretty clear he lost a lot of steam since his first debut, and if they're gonna really utilize Jay White to his utmost potential here, I think something is going to need to happen. And I think hopefully a loss here to Hangman Adam Page is going to be the impetus that sort of kicks things off in the next direction for Jay White.
I think he's going to make such an impact in the next C2.
You know what? That could be just it. Now, again, I know it got a lot of crap about how the Continental Classic last year went, but you know what? I think we're going to see something special. I think you're right. I think hopefully Jay White's presence in the C2 could be just what's needed.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to just agree with all of you. I'm going to pick Hangman Adam Page to win this one. And I don't know if he'll be in the Continental Classic, the C2. I don't know. But I do eventually kind of want to see him be one of the people that will like defend AEW against John Moxley in the future. Not right away, but just in the future. I kind of like because he's getting back to being so popular and he's the hero of his own story. He feels like he's the good guy here. He's justified in all his actions. I kind of want to see him just like really be like, okay, I have my own feelings on the matter, but I do love this place. I don't like what you're doing with the title and all that. John Moxley, I will face you in the near future. But yeah, that's my prediction. But for this weekend, I'm also going to go with uh Adam Page. Jay White's gonna he's not gonna lose anything losing this one. This match is not. That's pretty much what you could say with AEW wrestling matches, specifically pay-per-view matches, that they're all going to deliver, and this one is going to be no exception. But yeah, he's going to not lose anything in a loss, and I think he's going to do great in the Continental Classic. Will he win it? I don't think so, but I think he'll have a nice go at it. All right, moving on, we have a four-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship, and I think this match is actually going to open the show to get the crowd really up and going. And we have the champions Private Party going on against the Outrunners, the Kings of the Black Throne, and the Acclaimed. All right, let's see. Now we're back to Brian. Brian, who do you have for this match?
Okay, so we are on separate pages because I don't have this opening the show. Uh, but I do have, but I do have the champions retaining because they've been champions for 2 weeks. that there's and they've been telling this story. They're part of the John Moxley tale of you've become complacent. I'm here to whip your ass into shape, and he whipped their ass into shape, and they're tag team champions now. So that's basically how I see the John Moxley story. He's like, everybody get up off your ass, stop it, stop being okay with staying where you are, and reach to the heavens and better yourselves. And Private Party immediately beats the Young Bucks to become tag team champions, and that's not gonna change. As much as I love House of Black, and I know that a lot of people are saying that Julia Hart's going to come back, and no, she's got her own thing going with the. I, has she been coming in with the TBS or the women's title with her vignettes?
I'm going to say, if I had to guess, like right now, gun to my head, I'm going to say it's going to be back in the TBS title picture because I feel like the women's championship is going to be centered around Mariah May and whenever Tony Storm comes back.
Yeah,
That,
so exactly, she's going to be doing her own thing. House of Black isn't going to be getting any help here, which is the only way they win this match. So Private Party gets the win, probably pitting the Acclaimed because they're not popular like the Outrunners, and they were basically just thrown into the match. So I see the Private Party retaining their titles, pinning pinning the Acclaimed, Max Caster specifically.
Oh, specifically. All right. All right. I like that. I like that. I like that. All right. Jeff, who do you got for this four-way tag title match?
you have no idea how badly I wanted to say the Outrunners win this and won the tag team titles. However, as much as I like to follow my heart, I gotta be a realist here. I gotta go with the rest of the Accord, and we gotta go with Private Party. I am banking on hope that after Private Party retains, that this kicks off sort of a mini feud of sorts that with the Outrunners that gives them sort of a credibility factor. Because again, I'm a sucker for just like pure cheese that wrestling brings. So yeah, I gotta go with Private Party, but my heart says Outrunners in the long term. But for tonight, Private Party.
As as much as I agree with you. I would love to see the Outrunners win the tag team championship because of just how great they are. I'm also going to predict Private Party to win. As Brian said earlier, they just won it a couple of weeks ago. They just beat the Young Bucks recently. I think what is this? Their second title match?
First.
Okay,
I
I
don't
thought they
think
had.
they've defended.
I thought they had at least one. Okay, so yeah, this is their first title match, and I'm hoping that the Outrunners don't get pinned. I'm hoping that it is the Acclaimed getting pinned because I also don't want uh, Malachi Black and Brody King to get pinned on in this one. And yeah, I'm just not a fan of the Acclaimed. Uh, I haven't been a fan of the Acclaim for a while now. I'm kind of done with their characters. They need a revamp. But they're the ones that I'm hoping get pinned in this match. Pete, who do you have for the tag team to win the tag team championship?
Let me tell you something. Scholar Jeff, of course, echoing everything he said and more. Listen, let's be real. The Outrunners, most popular tag team right now. They get a big reaction. Their merch has been selling like crazy for AEW. It would be a great thing for them to win. But the excuse me, Private Party is not going to drop the belts after chasing the belts for 5 years. That's not fucking happening in any world in wrestling ever. Private Party for the win. But shout out to the wonderful words that my tag team partner from the JP Connection said about this match because I could say the same thing, but not as beautifully and eloquent as my tag team partner said.
Jesus
It's
Christ,
okay.
Pete, be your own guy.
Keep going with this throughout the rest of the night. Maybe I will actually give you the first title shot when I get my title back.
This is less than this is less than a tag team than Pete just being Jeff's hype man. You're Leo Rush to Jeff's Bobby Lashley. Jeff, get up and just and show that ass. Come on. You know what I'm talking about. Do it. Get
You're
up.
not you don't pay me enough to show my ass on the internet for the viewer bucks aren't there just yet. We'll reassess in a year or two, but until then, no ass for
Listen, it's
you.
a private party for Jeff right there.
Oh, it's a private party for someone. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, privates. Okay. Where the fuck am I? Oh, yeah.
Parties.
Talk about a party foul.
Oh, I throw the flag in for that one. Next match we got the TBS Championship with Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander. Pool, who do you have to win the AEW TBS Championship?
I gotta say, this one gave me a little bit of pause. I
Menopause.
there is a there's a greater than zero chance that Chris Statlander walks away with this, just because of what we've seen, but all the discord between Mercedes Moné and Camille over the past few weeks, especially from what we saw this past week, where there's a considerable amount of butting of the heads, and as much doubt as it's put in my mind, I'm just not entirely convinced they're gonna be pulling the trigger on a. There might be a falling out, or at least a continuation of the storyline, but I do not think it's going to result in a title change here. So, as much as I'm a little bit hesitant to do so, I'm going to go with Mercedes Moné to retain.
I'm not going to be hesitant. I do think it's going to be Mercedes Moné retain because, as we said earlier, we're going to get a Julia Hart feud between the two, and that's going to be something fun. And who knows? Maybe they actually are going to save it for Camille winning the championship off of Mercedes Moné. Who knows where they're going to go? Look, that's a possibility. Sure, why not? That's pretty much all I got on that booking. Sure, why not? But yeah, Mercedes Moné is not losing the title. She's still the main, like the real focus of of that title. It just makes sense for her to continue rate with this reign. Pete, who do you have for this match?
Of course, I'm going to pick my favorite wrestler in the world, Mercedes Moné, for the win, because
You say AJ
obviously
Lee's not
she's
here.
winning. I mean, and I will echo again, Scholar Tarek, you said it. not as good as my tag team partner, but pretty up there. Um, that she's the face of the company. She goes to premieres for movies. You want to see that TBS title on her. You want a brand recognition. She's Tony Khan's BFF. Like Statlander, I do think it's going to be her time. Her time is just not going to be in the Prudential Center come in Newark. I do not think it's going to be her time there. It is Mercedes Monet for the win.
All right, Brian, who do you have to win? Mercedes Monet or Chris Statlander?
Look, I was 50-50 on this match until Dynamite, where Chris Statlander laid out both Camille and Mercedes Moné, stood on top of Mercedes Moné's unconscious body, holding the title up in the air. There is no chance that Chris Statlander walks out of this match to champion. She hit all three of the go home show no nos. So
The no-nos.
yeah, so she hit all three of them. There's no way Mercedes Moné retains. We might get more uh, story heading towards a Camille Mercedes Moné blow up, but as Scholar Jeff said, I don't believe it happens at this show. I think we get another pay per view cycle with Mercedes Moné as the champion.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have Swerve Strickland going against in his pay-per-view debut for AEW, Bobby Lashley of the Hurt Syndicate, which I'm just so happy that they're here. I'm happy that Shelton Benjamin's getting such great time to shine. I'm happy MVP is just continuing to show how great of a mouthpiece he is, and now we're gonna just see Bobby Lashley uh, go do amazing things in his pay-per-view debut. First, he took out two guys. One of his Cheeseburger. That's just god damn funny. That Bobby Lashley's AEW debut was against Cheeseburger. Well, at least Cheeseburger. Who was Cheeseburger tagging with in the handicap match? It doesn't matter. But I'm gonna pick Bobby Lashley to win. Swerve isn't gonna. This feud's gonna continue on after this. There's no way that this is gonna be a feud ender. It's just beginning, and I see Bobby Lashley winning this one here. Pete, who do you have for Swerve Strickland and Bobby Lashley,
Listen,
the Almighty?
Swerve is obviously the baby face of this company. Everybody loves him. The energy he brings, the athleticism, the talent. He is the guy. However, at Prudential, he will not be the guy against Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is easily going to win this match. Like you said, it's his first pay-per-view. This feud is just beginning. You know this feud's going to continue. It's just going to be two great athletes. We've echoed it all during the show, but these matches may be certain, but they're all going to be fantastic matches in front of us, varying from high flying to just great moments in the ring. And I feel like Bobby Lashley with Swerve can make some really fun things in that ring.
All right, very good. Let's see, Brian, who do you have for Swerve? Bubbles,
I've got bubbles, but
Bubbles.
it's bubbles. But basically, it's like, look, it's his first pay per view match. It's his first singles match in the company. You need to build up the Hurt business. And what better way to build up the Hurt business than by going against who's really been the face of your company for the last year? So, I mean, like, the best business move is for the business to win. So that doesn't mean that this feud is going to be over. This is not a one-off, but Bobby Lashley needs to win this match, and it needs to be convincing. I'm not saying squash, but I'm saying Swerve should put up a good fight, but it should be pretty obvious that he's not going to win this one.
Okay.
Like you can tell from the off. that he's not going to win, but he's going to try to fight back as hard as he can, but he won't be able to do it in the end. So because it's going to turn into faction warfare, he's going to have to get more people than the Nana.
Then the Nana. Yes, then the Nana. Yes, then
And
whose
he's going to
house?
figure that out by losing to Bobby Lashley.
All right. Bobbles indeed. Fool, who do you have? The Swerve or the Bobbles?
Look, I don't think I can add anything more that hasn't already been said. I think we got Bobbles is going to win this. This is very clearly the Bobbles showcase match. It's not like you're going to be jobbing out Swerve Strickland. He's absolutely one of their A-list guys right now, but I can only imagine for all the money you're paying for like a Bobby Lashley and all that name recognition, especially now that you're actually going to do the Hurt Business as intended. All signs point to a Lashley victory here. Bobbles is going to win. Hopefully, this ends up in a much more extended feud, if for no other reason than to give Swerve Strickland a damn good dance partner for at least the next few months.
I'm just happy that the Hurt Business is actually in front of an audience. That just makes me happy, since they were just they were just a COVID group. Uh,
I can't argue against that. You're
yeah,
absolutely right, and I just can't wait to see what they all do next. And forever for however long as MVP stays in professional wrestling, this whole ride is going to be absolutely worth it.
I'm having a brain fart. I know I keep calling it the COVID period, but what did they call WWE with this in front of the screens?
The Thunderdome period.
The Thunderdome period.
Thunderdome.
That's right. That's right. I'm like, what was it called again? But yeah, they're in the Thunderdome era. Yeah. Again, it's just now that they're in front of a crowd, which they should have had in WWE. I'm glad they're having it right now. But yeah, moving on, we have a TNT Championship match. We have Jack Perry defending the championship against Daniel Garcia. Pete, who do you have to win this match?
I just want to ask my tag team partner when his next stand-up set is. That was some of the funniest, wittiest commentary I've ever heard on on a prediction. I mean, a JB connection for life. My God. But
I'll
getting back
start
down to
doing another
serious.
stand-up set when they start paying me what I'm worth. Continue.
You're damn right. You're damn right, champ. Future champ right there. Dropping love down in the comments. But obviously, we're going to show some love right here for Daniel Garcia. It's long overdue this man gets his title run. It's long overdue that this man wins the match. I mean, Jake Perry, you've had a solid run as the TNT champion, but I fully believe that Daniel Garcia will walk out as the new champion.
You said Jake Perry. It's Jack Perry.
I meant Jack Perry.
Damn it, Tarek.
Eh,
That's
tomato,
mine.
potato.
Tomato, tomato, potato, potato.
Potato, tomato. That's what I said.
Exactly.
Damn it, Tarek. You
Listen,
took my thunder.
Oh, we were
listen,
come on,
Private.
Brian. We were both thinking it. We heard it and we were just like, wait, what? All right, Brian, who do you have? Is Jack Perry retaining or is Daniel Garcia finally getting a championship?
Or his
It's
twin brother Jake.
it's awkward because I just went through my Mercedes Monet and Chris Statlander where they did the three no-nos, and so the other person's automatically gonna win. Um, Jack Perry looked pretty bad coming coming out of that dynamite. But I think I think the story that they're going with him has more to do with the Young Bucks basically leaving him out to dry. And so I think that that is going to be a reason why Daniel Garcia goes over the top here, because first of all, Daniel Garcia is also a part of that story with the Moxley crew, step up or step aside, or step up or get stepped on, that kind of deal. And I do believe that it's his time to step up and grab a title like Private Party did. So I'm gonna bite the bullet here. Jack Jack Perry looked extra bad coming out of Dynamite, but I think he's going to look even worse coming out of the pay-per-view because he's not going to have a title anymore. Daniel Garcia, it's your time to shine, baby.
All right, Jeff, who do you have? Are you agreeing with Pete and Brian?
I have to confess, this is the first of the major differences tonight because I cannot go with Daniel Garcia on this. I'm going to go with Jack Perry to retain simply because I don't really like the way Daniel Garcia has been being betrayed. He comes across as very bland and flavorless to me. It's just what he's been doing and saying in his promos and everything. It's just something is just not clicking for me right now. Meanwhile, Jack Perry has been pretty reliable and banging on all cylinders. Even if you're tired of his shtick by now, I feel like his presentation has been a lot more polished ever since the whole CM Punk debacle. I cannot say the same for Daniel Garcia. I feel like he hasn't quite hit his optimal groove just yet. Again, damn good. Clearly, AEW has high hopes for him, but I just don't think it's right now. At least you can't say anything for Daniel Garcia that you also can't say for Jack Perry. If you want to pivot into this whole like Death Riders group is going to take over AEW and they're going to start like recruiting or bringing people to their cause, I can definitely see them bring on Jack Perry as much as they're bringing on someone like Daniel Garcia. So that being said, this is going to be where we differ, and I'm going to have to go with Jack Perry to retain the title.
Okay. You're going to be the only one that feels that way because I'm also going to go with Daniel Garcia because you even said it's not his time. And I just was thinking like he's had so many opportunities to have that point. It's like, is it his time throughout the last couple of years? It's from like the MJFs and other title matches to facing Moxley and Danielson, and I just be like, this man, I feel like he needs this win, and I just can't for like me. I'm like, this is now just more of like, man, if you lose this one, I think you're just gonna lose any kind of credibility, just because when you're I really hate to say this, but it's kind of like how people viewed Bray Wyatt, how he's like just in all of his feuds, he just ends up being the loser. And at that point, he's now at that point for me at least, where he needs this. If he doesn't win it, then he's just not going to be anything. He just did that whole thing with MJF that's like, oh, is he leaving AEW or is he going to stay? But we're not sure, so we're just not going to give him that match, even though he was scheduled to originally win. But because of the whole not sure if he's staying, they're just going to have him lose. I feel like now he's here. He's going to get that title win, and we're just going to see that show him holding the title and just go like the yeah, go to Garcia, shake it,
You don't dance
shake it.
anymore, dude.
I don't care. I
He's
still do
all
it.
serious now. He's all
He is all
serious,
serious.
Garcia.
He's all serious now, but still, I can do it for him. I can shake those hips, baby. Shake those hips. Mm. I know he doesn't do it anymore, but I don't care. That's how I. Oh, imagine if he just brought that back after just winning the title just for that one night. It's like I want it. Bam, 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 bam. Do it, bam. Take it from here, bam, 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 bam. Uh, but yeah, Daniel Garcia for the win for me. Next up we got the match. Honestly, I'm looking forward to the most. We have Will Ospreay against Kyle Fletcher. I am super pumped for this match. But Brian, you it's your pick. Who do you have to win this one?
This is the one that's been the toughest for me to actually pick for. because I really think that this one can go either way. And I think with the way that Will Ospreay views his role in the company, and with what happened on Dynamite with Mark Davis accidentally taking that hidden blade, I think that we might actually have a reunion of Aussie Open, and Kyle Fletcher actually takes the win here. So the feud doesn't end. It continues on into the Continental Classic, where Will Ospreay can get his victory back and go on to do things with Takeshita and Okada. But I think you can kick off the feud here with a star-making victory for Kyle Fletcher. Just look at the dude's promo from Wednesday. I don't think you cut that promo if you're going to lose. I'd rather die on top of King. It's one of those things where this is the time to make a star. And Will Ospreay has been in the business of putting people over since he came in here. He we did Everyone thought he was going to beat Swerve Strickland, but he said no and put over Swerve Strickland to stay the champion. I think we're gonna get something like that here. I think we're gonna get a Kyle Fletcher victory.
All
I'm
right.
going for it. I'm going
Okay.
for it.
All right. Fool, who do you have for this match?
It's very interesting. I thought this, of all matches, was going to be the one that divides Brian and I, to sort of break this ongoing tie that we seem to have going. But no, surprisingly, we're in agreement here. I think Kyle Fletcher, this is a must win for Kyle Fletcher here. Really, everything that was said about Jack Perry and Daniel Garcia, I believe that applies more to this match than that one did. I feel like Will Ospreay is basically Teflon, and Kyle Fletcher has more of an upside than Daniel Garcia, but also with his recent joining up with the Don Callis family, I feel like there's more places for him to go, and he needs this victory more. Again, Will Ospreay, Teflon, is one of the biggest faces of the company, especially with the Continental Classic coming up. He can make that win up like that. But for tonight, I feel like this is where this star making turn for Kyle Fletcher must begin. Gonna go with Kyle Fletcher for the win.
I am also going to go with Kyle Fletcher for the win, pretty much mirroring what you guys said. This is going to be Kyle Fletcher's star making match. Will Ospreay is going to just put him over wholeheartedly. And I actually think Mark Davis is going to be the reason why Kyle Fletcher wins. Because of what happened on Dynamite. Yeah, I see that happening. Uh, yeah, this is a star making match. I got nothing else to say. This is going to be Kyle Fletcher's. It's going to be his Austin Bret Hart match where Austin passed out. It's going to be at least character wise. It's going to be that kind of match for him. Pete, who do you have between Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher?
It's funny, gentlemen. Y'all went with Fletcher. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna go with Will Ospreay for the win. I think he needs this win, and I think this is gonna be more story. I see your face, Scholar Tark, so let me expound for you. So get ready to take your ears on a vacation while I go through this. So, Mr. Will Ospreay just lost to the face of AEW in Strickland, so you need to bounce back off of that. Not saying that it was a bad loss, but you got to make him look strong. And, Scholar Tark, you said it beautifully, I might add. You said this could be the Bret Hart Stone Cold. And I agree. I think Fletcher's going to get this close, a hairpin close to beating Will. But Will's going to show his experience. He's going to show why he's the best. And he's going to win the match, furthering this just this man who's becoming a character in front of our eyes on the television. He's the most underrated AEW wrestler right now, I feel. So why not give him this big moment at Full Gear with Will Ospreay, one of the biggest names in pro wrestling, and have him get so close, but just not make it, and have Will win and get his win back from Swerve and just to mess with my fellow scholars because I am Scholar Peter and I predict Will for the win.
Okay, it's nice. It's nice to have some have a
You
different
weren't full first name. He's serious.
and that's probably going to come back and bite him in the ass in the end. But we'll see. We'll see on Sunday. All right, next match we have the international championship match. We have Takeshita defending against Ricochet, and for me personally, this match is actually a tough one for me because, in my opinion, both guys really do like both guys. I won't say need the win, but it's like it could go either way in that regards, but it's not me going first. I go second. So that makes Jeff, you go first in this prediction. Who do you have? Takeshita or Ricochet to win the international championship?
I'll tell you what, just you, the way you introduce this match is kind of making me sweat a little bit. I'll be honest with you, because I thought this one was going to be relatively easy to call. This seems like a very obvious pick for me, but now I'm not so sure. But
I know, right?
that being said, I'm going to go with my original prediction for this match. I'm just going to let it ride. I'm going to go with Konosuke Takeshita to retain.
Just it's your original. That's because that was your original
It's
prediction.
my original one, and maybe this could be old wrestling programming still lingering in my brain from WWE. But I feel like Ricochet is the kind of guy who, at least in WWE, was always in these kinds of matches, would always put on a great match, but wouldn't quite win the title. And especially since it looks like Takeshita has really been slowly building up steam, and he's been I really like what Takeshita's been doing lately. I feel like he's got more momentum than he's ever had, and I feel like it's too much momentum to just let Ricochet take the title this fast, especially given the way the just how recent rather this match was added to the main card. It was like we heard about this one being added 2 days ago, and then just today we found out about Deonna Purrazzo and Anna Jay being added to the pre-show. I know we like to rip on how AEW will just add matches at the 11th hour, but I feel like the speed in which, or lack thereof, that this particular match was added to the added to Full Gear, I think that tells us something. I think that tells us that as much stock as they put in Ricochet, I don't think it's going to result in a title win for Ricochet. I'm going to go with Konosuke Takeshita to retain his title.
Oh man, this really it's still a challenge for me because I just see both guys. I see both guys winning. Like it's like you said, Jeff. Takeshita. This has been Takeshita's year. My God, like ever, like I'll just keep bringing up when you and I went to Dynamite, the first uh the first Dynamite of the year
January of the year, yeah.
at Prudential, and I believe he was facing Darby that night.
Yeah, Darby Allin versus Konosuke Takeshita. That was a really fun match.
That was an awesome match. And then you're like, I remember we were split on that one. You were going Darby. It's like, let's go Darby, and I'm just going, yeah, let's go Takeshita. And it's like, let him just go, and then Takeshita just destroyed him in that match. But yeah, Takeshita has been on such a great momentum this year. Um, but it's also I don't see a loss to Ricochet really hurting him. Uh, and when it comes to like Ricochet's point of view, he just came in. People are like, he's been having such big back and forth with so many people on social media on just how relevant or irrelevant he is. It's like kind of hard to be like to really predict against him in this one, just to be like, okay, he's he's now in AEW and nothing's changing other than just, oh, we'll just give him, in my personal opinion, the number 2 title on the brand. But and like that's also a factor. It's like, oh, Takeshita may lose the title, but I don't think it's gonna hurt his momentum, because he's pretty much gonna. I still think it's gonna be Takeshita versus Okada in the final of the Continental Classic. That's I think that's the big moneymaker of this year's C2. So, with that being said, I I got to go with my boy Takeshita. He's just been on such a great hot streak, and I have basically been fanboying over his year. I get so upset when he doesn't when he doesn't win, so I just can't really predict against him. So yeah, I'm picking Takeshita to retain, which was again that I didn't just like that was just basically me talking myself into it with this rant that I'm going on, because this was the hardest match for me to decide, really, because I'm just thinking who would benefit from it more, and can both guys really afford to lose? And that was such a big mind mess with me. But I got to go with my boy Takeshita on this one. Pete, who do you have, Ricochet or Takeshita?
Ricochet, 100%. I don't want to have the same as you guys. I think Ricochet is going to win. You can't have a loss so soon. I think he's going to win. Set it up. Why not be different? Let's go. Ricochet for the win.
All right. I like that. I like that. Good for you. You get a golf clap with that explanation. Very good. I don't know if the microphone could catch it, but yeah, good job.
The video does. The video does, Tarek, and that's what matters.
Very, very true. But that's not the case for people who are listening on Spotify. But Brian, who do you have to win the international championship?
No golf claps for anyone, because it took everybody 15 minutes to come to the obvious answer. It's Takeshita. Takeshita's retaining. Okay? There shouldn't have been so much back and forth between this. It's obvious where this is going. You're gonna have title for title, Takeshita versus Okada at the end of the Continental Classic. That's what it is. That's what you're having. And it took you 15 minutes to decide that, because you all love Ricochet so much. I love Ricochet, but he has no part in the international title scene right now. He's just there to be. I hate to say it to all you Ricochet fans. He's a filler. He's a filler contender to give Takeshita something to do in between his battles with Ospreay and Okada. Sorry to say it, but that's what it is. Takeshita to retain.
You went extreme on that one.
I had to go.
We have it's like Jeff and I have the same prediction as you, but you were just like, "Fuck you guys! It shouldn't be this hard. What is wrong with both of you?"
I would just like to say that I was very decisive, very defined with my answer, and I said the Ricochet.
And that's why I only said, and that's why I only came at you with no golf claps for you. They got to fuck you. It should not have taken you. It should not have taken you 10 minutes apiece to come to the conclusion that Takeshita wins. It is not that hard. Pete was decisive in his wrongness. It's okay.
Oh, that's keep that feud going, guys. Keep that
Pete
feud
was
going.
decisive in his wrongness, so I give him respect.
We'll see next week. We'll see next week.
We shall see next week. And with that, we are at the main event. We are at Jon Moxley versus Orange Cassidy for the AEW World Championship in possibly the soul of AEW. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. And I'm going to be pretty much Brian for the last match for this one. It's no contest. I love Orange Cassidy, but this is just the beginning of what Jon Moxley has planned. What's the name of his stable again?
The Death Riders.
Death. I knew it was something Riders. The Death Riders. Oh yeah, that's right. Because YouTube doesn't like the word death. Right. Yeah. Uh, the Death Riders. But yeah, it's Jon Moxley retained. This is gonna be such a fun match. I'm looking forward to this one, and this is gonna be Orange Cassidy's. He's gonna look. Sorry, itchy leg. He's gonna look great in defeat, but is just gonna keep this going and just mow through the baby faces, the up and coming baby faces of ABW for the next few months. All right, Pete, who do you have for Mox versus the orange juice?
I feel like Mox is gonna squeeze out that orange juice and pulverize it, and we're gonna feel it. But Moxley for the win. The Death Riders, they're up and coming. You got to keep them strong. I don't think it's Orange Cassidy's time. Not saying in the future he won't be that champion, but right now, to echo your point, this should not be a discussion. I think this is the easiest one to predict on the card. It's Moxley for life.
All righty. Brian, who do you have in your final prediction for the evening?
The only question I have is how long is the angle going to be at the end where all the baby faces are crying around the ring and Orange Cassidy is laid out with a bag over his head? Because I feel like we're going to have another one of those because because this is a lackluster main event for a Full Gear. Moxley versus Orange Cassidy. We've had it 2 times, and it's basically he's looking for up and coming people to face him, and Orange Cassidy has faced him before, beat him, and then done nothing with it. So he's extra pissed off at Orange Cassidy. So he's gonna beat him, and he's gonna treat him like Brian Danielson at the end of it to further the danger because I read an in character interview where he says that something heinous is gonna happen, and every time he said that, something heinous has happened. So I think it's obvious that Mox is gonna win. That's what we're going for here. I think the actual question is what's gonna happen after because I think we're gonna have a reboot of what happened at Wrestle Dream, where Orange Cassidy is going to end up like his two buddies, Brian Danielson and Chuck Taylor.
Okay.
And we're going to have another closing of all the baby faces around the ring looking constipated and angry.
Nah, around the ring, nah, they're gonna be just angry in the background looking at a screen. But no, you're probably right. After the beatdown, they're probably gonna try and run in and make the save, and just basic. And the show is just gonna end with a dead Orange Cassidy, and then you're just gonna see Darby Allin just be like,
Making faces into the camera, sure.
making faces into the camera. That this is gonna be the final image, just Darby.
For you Spotify listeners, Scholar Tark's making an angry face with a raised eyebrow at the screen.
He's looking like John Cena when he was angry at JBL and made the constipated angry face.
He's having a private party right now with his face.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Oh, okay. Now I tried to make a constipated face, and now it just made me lightheaded. All right. Jeff, you have the final prediction of the evening. Who do you have for Jon Moxley versus Orange Cassidy for the AEW World Championship?
I don't even think that's a real relevant question here. The real relevant question is just what we're left off with Scholar Brian, and that is it's not who's going to win. That's an easy pick. I've been a Jon Moxley guy this entire time, and that tradition will continue. I'm going to go with Jon Moxley technically getting the win here, but this is where I'm more convinced than anything that something major is going to happen to close the show. Maybe it'll be a return, maybe it'll be a new debut, maybe it's got to be something big. Ultimately, there is going to be a this is going to eventually lead up in the months to come to a major paradigm shift, no pun intended, for AEW as a whole and crowning a brand new world champion. But is it going to be Orange Cassidy? No. But Orange Cassidy is the vanguard of AEW right now. He's always delivered. He's always put on absolute banger matches, including with Jon Moxley. And this is gonna be a great way to close the show. Yes, the result is gonna be predictable. Yes, I'm absolutely going to Jon Moxley to retain. But I'm more curious to know what happens before the show goes off the air. I'm not gonna say what I'm hoping for. I don't even think it's what I'm hoping for is the most likely one. But I'm thinking that something has got to give, something has got to happen in order to kick off the next chapter of this story. But ultimately, it's got to all start the same way. It's got to start with Jon Moxley retaining the title.
All right, very good. And that's it. Those are all the matches. The predictions are in. They are locked in, ready to go. And before we close out in the evening, we'll bring Goldie back in here because she has to show up because she's beautiful. So, Brian, Jeff, since you guys are going for this beautiful title here, do you guys have any last saying to one another before we close out the evening?
I wish you luck, good sir. We will all be watching with beaded eyes Daniel Garcia versus Jack Perry because that's the only thing that we differed on. So that particular match got to be pretty tense. Otherwise, have a good show, sir.
I could really go for a taco. What about you?
I could go for many tacos.
Let's get many tacos. Pete, you want to get many tacos?
I love many tacos.
Scholar Tark, you want to get many tacos with us?
I'm going to get myself a burrito just to be different.
Tacos, burritos, whatever. Let's go get some tacos.
We all get the
Let's
the
get some tacos.
Yeah! Woo! All right, Goldie, I'm gonna put you away here. All right, and that's all we have to say for this episode of Scholars. That's our predictions for Full Gear. Brian and Jeff had their last words. Then the virtual handshake. This is Brian. This is Jeff. Yeah, virtual handshake. Yeah, good job. Those are our thoughts. And now we're going to turn it over to you, the listening/viewing audience. What are your predictions for Full Gear? What do you think about our views on predictions? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Are we full of shit, or are we actually like, hey, you got something going there? I like where you're going at with this. Be sure to leave a comment down below. Be sure to like this video. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to like us on Spotify and any other podcast things that we have.
The podcast places.
the podcast places, the podcast things that we have our show on. Because, you want to listen to us instead of watching us because you're just looking at us and just going, man, I don't like how these guys look. I like their voices, so I'm just gonna, listen to the podcast instead. I don't like looking at these guys' ugly mugs. I don't care what
for
Goldie
yourself,
looks
buddy.
like.
I'm adorable.
Oh
especially
no,
the
no.
one in the beanie and the
No, no, the four of us are beautiful people. The beautiful people. The beautiful people.
beautiful people.
Oh.
Juju.
Uh, but yeah, again, if you like what you see, you like what you hear, be sure to subscribe and follow us on all of those platforms, and be sure to find us on our social media platforms. You can find the show here at Scholars OW on X. You can find me at the Avataric. Jeff, where can they reach you?
You can find me on X or Twitter. Let's be real, it's always Twitter at I'm Robbie Rage.
Brian, where can they find you?
I refuse to say Elon Musk's X, so you can find me on Twitter at Atomic Beanpole, enjoying my championship for what may be its final days.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Goldie's staying undisputed. You can't go. You can't go with that attitude, sir. You can't go with that attitude. I'll hold.
Fine, I'm sitting on top of the mountain, kicking my legs,
We're on the
trying,
mount.
but
We continue to look to go on that mountain, just looking down at just seeing how far Pete can reach.
where Jeff is right under my boot and Pete's at the bottom of the mountain.
No. Jeff is under your boot, and Pete, you can't even see his face anymore because it's gone right up Jeff's ass. Pete, where can they find where can they find you on Twitter?
Smelling the flowers, Scholar Talk. They can reach me on X at Improv Pete when I will celebrate my tag team partner, the JP Connection, your future Scholars of Wrestling champion. You can find us celebrating over at Improv Pete on Twitter.
I will say, I will give you this. You took the opening and leaped right in.
I could just see like Jeff and Pete make a video if Jeff wins the title, and they're just going to be dancing with the belt, and they're just going to be going celebration. Let's go celebrate and have a good time.
But
Yeah,
it's not gonna matter because it's not gonna happen.
nah, it's still going to be like this. We're going to be the ones singing celebration because I don't know how else or to end this show because that's just who we are. And we are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're
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 welcome.
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 You're
Enjoy
welcome.
Full Gear this weekend. Bye, everybody.